Hi there, my name's Helen and I'm a careers consultant. I'm going to give you my top tips on how to manage your time. Okay, so obviously you've tuned in today because you think you might have a bit of an issue with managing your time, and some of the feelings you might be experiencing are feeling overwhelmed. You might find you're finding it a bit tricky to find time for job search. You might even find you're really finding it a bit tricky to prioritise your time. You know, you're maybe spending a little bit too much time looking at your phone or looking on social media or online rather than sort of knuckling down. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to make sure that you play hard and work hard and land the job that you want. Because as the maxim goes, time management shouldn't take your time, but rather make extra time for you. So think about how you operate. How do you actually balance work, applying for jobs, life and play? Because it's really important to make sure that you're doing all of those, by the way. What excuses are you making? Are you saying, I'll do it tomorrow? Are you saying, I'm too stressed and therefore I can't do it, and then you get more stressed and therefore you don't do it, which is a bit of a circular argument. So we've sort of talked about procrastination, circular arguments. Do you say, I can't do it, everyone else is better than me? Yeah. Or do you think everything needs to be perfect? Because it doesn't. Remember, you need to be good enough, okay? So don't let those feelings get in the way. There's something also called the 80-20 rule, and if you're really honest, do you think you apply to this rule, which is also known as Pareto's rule? It's the law of imbalance. So do you think you're spending 80% of your time achieving of just 20% of what you're capable of? Because I suggest you might be spending 80% of your time worrying, stressing, when you're really only achieving 20% of what you could do. So what are your successful time management strategies? What works for you and what currently isn't working? What could you be doing differently? So I'm now going to talk through some of my top tips to help you, okay? So firstly, break down, do a time audit. How are you spending your day? What can you cut out? I know it sounds really dull, but make yourself a to-do list and organise it into priority, limit the multitasking and be focused. So if you're going to say, I'm going to job search today, then make sure you allocate a good period of time to do that rather than flitting around and jumping around from place to place online, because there are many other ways also to find jobs. Manage your communication. You know, it's been shown in schools where phones have been taken away from pupils that they are working so much smarter as a result. So do switch off your phone when you're going to allocate this special time for yourself to achieve what you want. Set yourself false deadlines. One of my students did this and it worked really well for her. So she would set herself a false deadline of a week before her actual deadline, and it's very effective. You get a massive frisson of pleasure once you've hit your false deadline, and then you realise you've got another week to fine-tune what you'd set yourself to do. So if there are job deadlines, you know, for sending in an application, say, please don't leave it to the last minute. Say, try and do it a week before if you can, and then get some support on checking it through. You might be somebody who finds it tricky to say no. You know, well-meaning people might start piling up the pressure on you. Empower yourself and try and resist that temptation to always say yes. Learn to say no. If you're a people pleaser or you feel it will look bad on you if you don't, then try and think of the positive aspect if you do actually say no, and how much more powerful you will feel. Because well-meaning people can pile on the pressure. That could be peer pressure or pressure from work. Try and allocate some space for yourself where you say, I'm really sorry, but I can't do that today. Maintain a record. Some people have whiteboards at home, but be sure to have a diary or a planner so you can keep your eye on what you're doing and where your time is going. Don't spend your entire life writing lists, but do be on top of the situation. And review your day. Really useful tip. Allocate 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the day to celebrate what you've achieved and give yourself credit, but also to see what you need to do the next day. So you've got here a plan which shows you how to allocate your day. So it's sort of things that you need to do now, things that you can plan to do, things that you need to reject and maybe explain why you can't do it, and then things that you shouldn't be doing. So for example, things that you could be doing now are immediate deadlines, meetings, problems, firefighting, that type of thing. Things that you can plan to do are making sure that you've got job applications in the pipeline, you're going to reach out to some people. And some of the stuff which you might reject and explain are things like maybe saying yes to too many people, and learn how to avoid doing that. And then remember to resist and cease the constant surfing of the internet, the staring out the window, the social media. Just allocate yourself some time in the day when you switch all of that off and really see the benefit that will bring. You will, I promise, feel less stressed, more in control, you'll get more done, have less friction, and you'll enhance your performance. I promise you. So very best of luck in all of that. Goodbye, thanks a lot for listening. I wish you the best of luck with that, and do book an appointment with us, which you can see here on the slide, and follow us on social media.